So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our weekly KRSsatsang video. And before we get started with this week's video, please, what I want you to do, it's a request. It's a very important request. It's actually for you. Check out the links here and click on astrologykrs.com. Go on contact me section and sign up. Something very important you will see there. And I am going to announce it after the 12th of July when Mercury goes direct and the world's brain goes direct. So yeah, please do that. Please, please, please. And thank you for the one who have already done it. I love you, as I always do, because you love me too, right? I know you do. So anyway, let's start with our KRSsatsang. So let's start with our satsang. Om Satsangaya Namaha. So the first question is from Swati Paturi. What is your take on tarot readings? Tarot readings are very, very accurate. If the tarot reader is correct, if they know what they're doing, if they're not only just good with knowing the cards, but they just have that intuitive magic, I'm telling you, it is the most powerful thing that I've seen. At least even in my own life, I have seen the most accurate tarot reading. Okay, and I've actually explained this too on my students in Nakshatra course about my reading experience and what the reading was about. Next question is from Megan Monori. Is it possible that getting too much knowledge of your future through astrology may impact your future and might change it in some way? No, it's not possible. It's not possible to get too much knowledge on astrology, because the knowledge that you're supposed to get, whether it's this much, this big, or even that big, okay? You were meant to get that knowledge. And the future that you know, which is, let's say it's accurate to 95%, you were meant to know that. And you were meant to change something because you would know that. Why? Because it's all a pre-calculated simulation. It is predestined. Whatever you think you can change, you were destined to change it. How's that for an idea? So whatever you're doing, whatever I'm doing right now, it is all I am supposed to do this. Okay? If tomorrow I'm supposed to announce the world and leave, let's say tomorrow at 10 to the Himalayas, it is to be. Nothing can stop it. So when you think that just because you know so much about astrology and your future, and you're like, wow, now I can change it, impact it, why is it doing that? What is it going to do to my future or to my soul? You are already meant to do what you are supposed to do. So do what you're supposed to do and what you think you're supposed to do, because it already is meant to be. There's no such thing as too much or too little. Whatever is supposed to come towards you, it is coming. Then, next one is from Amsaltya. I recently read that D9 ascendant Lord Moon, if that goes into the 12th house in Rashi, meaning your birth chart, the person is destined to be poor. Could you please explain? I think you may have misread this, or the person explaining this may have misread it themselves or are not fully aware of this. This is particular one thing, but it's not related to being poor. It's related to having more expenses than savings. So for example, with this position, you could make $1 million a year. Okay, you're making $1 million a year. Your expenses are $800,000 a year, meaning you cannot run your business or your lifestyle unless that $800,000 is spent. So in the end of the day, you end up having $200,000 after expenses and taxes. So does that mean the person is poor? No. They're living far, probably in the top 4 or 5%. But they're not able to withhold the total capacity of what they're making, or what they're making, or what they're able to make. So if somebody's, let's say, making 10 million a year, their expenses will be 7-8 million. So they still have 2 million that comes to them. Does that make the person poor? No. It just simply shows that you're going to have to, your karma is to give out money. Whether you donate, whether you have all kinds of expenses and family expenses come up, it is going to go. So that is how it's supposed to be read. And it's not just that. I can actually make a video on one day about how a planet in Navamsha, if it lands in your 6th house, what happens? If it's in your 7th house, what happens? It's a very interesting concept. It is quite interesting. Usually it's kind of even used in matchmaking, but it also, this is something I've actually learned from A.V. Sundaram. Just with my private messaging with him, I've learned this particular technique. So one day I may actually make a video on it. It's a beautiful technique. Then the next question is from Krazi Ahmad. Man, I gotta have my glasses with me. I can't do these satsang without my glasses. I'm an old man. I'm old. I'm done. Shit. Time passes. Can you please tell me what happens when the ascendant lord of D1, D9, and D10 chart are all in moksha houses? This is actually first of all, kudos to you for even paying attention to that. This is why I love some of these questions, because with your question, it kind of shows how is the person thinking. How is this person kind of like understanding astrology? And for you to even ask me that seems like either you might be my student on the academy, or somehow you have found a great book or a great teacher in your own personal life. When the lagna of the birth and the Navamsha and Dasamsha are in a moksha house, okay, what it simply shows that a person's inner energy and exterior work is always going to be towards escaping. For them, they do not want to deal with the responsibility of the world or of the marriage or of the family. They want to just be free, because what it shows that most of your obligations in society, in marriage, in your family has been paid off, and you have actually worked so hard in your past life. Like, for example, like a single mother or single father working 2-3 jobs, providing for the family, and they just did that for like 80 years, and then they just died at work because they were working so hard just to provide for their family. Because you have worked so hard, the soul desires to be in moksha. But also, on the other hand, if other planetary placements are matching, it's not simply means like escaping. It can also mean that a person either wants to discover and research things in their life, or a person could be in fields related to media industry. Anything related to media, glitz, glamour, that's where also the moksha houses come in. Because why? Think about it. Why is it that all these film industries, TV industry are not connected with, let's say, dharma houses or artha houses, or especially kama houses of desire? Why moksha? Because moksha houses are connected with rituals. They're connected with certain psionic rituals. And in order to make it in any one of these industry, one's going to have to take part in rituals. So remember that. This is why. And but I've learned this. I've learned this through one of my teachers. Then the next question is from Jayandasri Solonoki. Please answer my question. Sun and Venus in the first house, Aquarius ascendant in the D10 chart. Well, one thing you will notice with this particular ascendant is that your either partnership or interaction with your boss is like that of a spouse. Meaning, this doesn't mean that there's going to be an affair occurring. What it simply means, your relationship with them feels like a marriage. Like, oh my God, I'm supposed to be helping them out. Oh my God, I'm supposed to be doing this for them. It's like you feel obligated. Like if nobody wants to take this particular project or nobody can finish this particular project at work, you're like, oh man, okay, I'm going to take it. Because I do not want my partner or my boss to feel that burden and stress. So you become this spouse, you become this wife or this husband. Like, okay, I need to take care of this. That's the number one thing we see with this position. The second thing we see is that the more you attend social circles, the more you know people through social circles which are connected with your work, the more luxury you will find in your life. Because your career, your reputation, your ability to find fame and recognition in your workspace is connected with social gatherings and connecting with authorities in social gatherings. So it becomes very important because this person, they don't feel like that they're looking for your empathy and your support. They feel like, I need to get it. I just need to get this. Yeah, you're supposed to help me. Okay, so let me know you. Come. You're supposed to help me. Let's become friends. If let's say you had Moon Saturn or Saturn Venus in the lagna of the Samsha, this person will feel like that they need to have other people raise their self-esteem, other people raise their confidence by saying something to them. And when they don't, they can't function well. They demand, in a way, they don't demand, they really just, with their behavior, they look for you to raise their self-esteem at work. Then, next one is from Ranjini Tayala. Okay, so they're asking Venus in the 12th house in Libra. Venus and Moon in the 12th house in Libra, aspected by Jupiter from the 4th house and debilitated Mars from the 9th house. Ketu and Saturn in the 3rd house. Well, Saturn is going to be aspecting your Venus and Moon, not Ketu. What Ketu does is that Ketu provides its energy to Saturn, and then Saturn just takes it to the 12th house. So some of it will come. The first thing we see is that major heartbreak. Okay, major heartbreak in a relationship, and just having that stab. And also, what this shows is that your spouse is waiting for you in foreign lands. You will meet your spouse in foreign lands. But for you, the biggest intoxication in your life becomes stable marriage and relationship. This person kind of like will dream and fantasize about being with someone, being in the arms of someone, cooking for someone, waiting for someone, going on vacation with someone. So for them, the marriage and relationship becomes the escape. The bed pleasures with that particular person becomes the escape from the world to enjoy the highest of fulfillment. And this may not necessarily lead to a spiritual devotion, unless, of course, we're looking at yogas and other placement in your Navamsha and Vimsamsa. But this person wants to be devoted to relationship because that's what brings them that high, like any drug would. And the other thing you will see with this person, they will have abandonment issues with the father or absence of father in life. And the ego will always be hurt by the father. But this can also show, of course, I can always say show, but it may not. A father could be a great artist. But, it all depends on how everything is placed. But this is what we really see. And then the last question is from Kevin NWX. You have mentioned before that there are some horoscopes which you cannot do accurate predictions for because their energies are too heavy. What kind of combinations or of placement have you seen for those kind of charts? It's not one or two or five combinations. I can get any kind of combinations. I can get exalted Jupiter in the ascendant and exalted moon in the 11th and exalted Venus in the 9th. Okay, it's not the combination, it is something else. What happens is when I put in the information in the software and I have the chart in front of me, and if suddenly my heart starts palpitating and I'm having like shortness of breath while I'm like just suddenly studying the chart and I'm just having a hard time even to start a reading, I already know this reading is not supposed to be done by me. Either there is some ancestral heavy curse on it, or something is there that just doesn't want me to give them a reading. Like I try my best, but I feel this heaviness in the heart, and my heart starts racing fast. So your body just tells you. It's not a combination that tells you, it's the body that tells you whatever you're doing right now, don't do it. So that's when I'm like, okay, I just have to refund this person, and I tell them that, listen, when I saw your chart, I'm just started having heavy breathing, and my mind is just not telling me to do this. Okay, sometimes yes, the pressure, if it says don't do it, then I won't do it. I don't care what you paid me or how much you paid me, I just refund. Okay, but it's not about combinations. I was thinking about that. I'm like, what are these combinations? And there's like, you got to understand, there's like 10,000 different yogas in Vedic astrology, which no modern day astrologers is capable of knowing, unless you're some really grown up in an old traditional valued astrological family where you know all these combinations. So maybe it is the yoga, it is a combination. Okay, that we don't know, but otherwise it's just the energy and the intuition that is working at that time. Okay, so guys, this is this week's satsang. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you can ask me questions. I can answer it in the future videos. And also please remember to go here at this link and go to contact section, and please fill out the newsletter form. It's important. It's important. Bye-bye. Yes, I'm going. My remote is in this phone, and it keeps disconnecting as much as I want to leave. And right now I have a cigar, which I'm going to. I just can't. Come on. People are waiting. They want to go to the next video. Jesus Christ. Come on, man. Let's go. They want to move to the next Bollywood song or something. Sorry, I'm leaving. Bye-bye.